Well, thank you all for coming. The suspense is kind of out there now, I guess. But I am very happy to announce that Mallory Larranaga will be the next head coach for women's volleyball. We welcome Mallory back in so many forms. It's happy to have her in the leadership role now. We all know Mallory's past here, an outstanding Nanook, an alum, someone who's helped shape the future of women's volleyball. You've all seen her recruitment classes last year. A very different team on that court. She will tell you that that's a result of hard work, picking the right people, but good guidance from Phil Shoemaker, who for so long tried to build this program and hand it off to Mallory. So we're very pleased that we're able to continue to invest in our own and do it in a very good way. And the good way is the D2 way, a UAF way, and that is putting the student first, somebody who understands that, somebody who understands the value of athletics and students and academic success. It's the right way to do things, and we are very confident that Mallory is the right choice for women's volleyball here at UAF. So Mallory, welcome. And with that, I'm going to hand it off to Gary Gray, our athletics director.
Okay, thanks, Mike. I'm excited about Mallory's hiring. We did a national search, full search committee. We did a national search. We had applications from around the country, current and former head coaches, assistant coaches, coaches Division I and II level, and our decision was to hire Mallory. When you hire a head coach, when I'm involved at least in hiring a head coach, what I look for is mature professional leadership. We need someone who's a role model for the young women on the team, or young men on the men's side, but for the young women on the volleyball team, we need someone who has a passion for coaching and for leadership and really, I'll say, driving, encouraging, pushing student athletes on the court, in the classroom, in the community. I always look for someone who's a student of the game, someone who studies the game. I know that I played college volleyball, and I would want a coach like Mallory, a student of the game, someone who's always learning, always improving, someone who's on the cutting edge, and someone who is ready to take the next step in leading her own program. We are totally confident that, that Mallory is ready to do that. Mike alluded to the recruiting. In NCAA sports, man, recruiting is so important. You've got to have the best quality student athletes, athletically first of all, academically as well, but unselfish people who are ready to volunteer and work in the community and help fundraise and things like that. But you've got to be able to recruit very, very well. And Mallory's a proven recruiter. Mike alluded to the freshmen who were on the team this year, but we signed 3 young ladies due to Mallory's recruiting in November who, from all accounts, are every bit as good, if not better than, and no offense to our current ones, but the next step in recruiting. So Mallory's officially had a couple of recruiting classes now, only one of which we've seen. But she will just work hard and really, really do a great job. She's a great colleague. We're really excited to have her now as our 7th head women's volleyball coach of Nanook Volleyball, and it's my pleasure to introduce head coach Mallory Larranaga.
Well, I first want to thank Chancellor and Mike and Gary just for believing in me, and they really put me to test, and that's the way I like it. I like to be under pressure, and I'm so glad that I was able to prove myself through this process of hiring. I couldn't be more thankful. I couldn't be more blessed, and really excited. I'm kind of disappointed right now my athletes aren't in town, so we could really get started, but the day will come, and I know that there will be a lot of changes, a lot of positive changes, but a lot of happy changes. We're excited to get going. It was really neat writing an email to my team. It was one of the best things I've done so far for them, and I hope they're all excited, right, girls? And we're just excited to get going on a new era of volleyball. They're phenomenal people, and I continue to recruit phenomenal people. They're going to be great volleyball players, they're going to be great students, but they're women of character, and they're going to be in this community for a long time or another community and make a big difference. And so that's my goal, to make great people, great leaders. So I'm just very thankful and blessed.
Okay, questions?
Mallory, I'm curious, a lot of coaches would come into a situation in a new job where it's, they think of the rebuilding process. With your ability to recruit over the past 2 seasons as an assistant, do you feel like you're in the middle of that process instead of starting it over, and is that a benefit?
Yeah, we're not rebuilding, we're reloading. We're in the middle of that process, but I know I have to have patience in it. You don't take over a program and something switches and you win a national championship. I know that I need to have patience, our team needs to have patience, but the biggest thing is that we see forward steps every single day, every single year. And so that's the part that I'm looking forward to, and I love a challenge.
What's the benefit of having players that you are familiar with under you for first year?
They already buy into what we believe in. They understand me. They know that I'm going to push them very, very hard, and they love that. We're not scared going forward. We're not scared to sweat and possibly to throw up a little bit. They want that. They want to be pushed. They're strong female athletes, and the fact that we know each other and that we have some leaders already on the team is just going to help for the freshmen incoming and then continued classes.
Mallory, tell me about that picture right there.
Pretty sure it was a kill.
Yeah, you're inside the block, you're good.
Yep, we're good.
What do you remember about that game? And I mean, what do you think when you look at that picture and you're sitting here today as a new head coach of the Nanook?
It's unbelievable, and really, it hasn't sunk in. This is my dream job. I'm not gonna tell anybody anything different. It gives me a lot of pride to come back and be an alum and to understand what it takes to have excellence here at UAF and then also in athletics. But I loved that moment, and I loved every single moment after that and before that. Being an athlete here is hard. There are hardships. It's Alaska, and we all know that. But being a part of it is a camaraderie, and I'm a part of something forever, and I'm excited that I'm able to continue in a big way, in a leadership way. I'm a leader by nature. I was born that way, and I really hope to give others, and I actually have said this before, some of my recruits and then girls that have played this year, I truly believe that under my leadership, my records are going to be broke. That's a goal of mine, and I want them to have those experiences that I had.
Refresh my memory, were you an outside hitter or were you a middle?
I was an outside hitter that hit everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah, I was.
Well, Mallory, you talked about changes. Is there anything that you want to implement in this program that maybe hasn't been here?
We're just going to raise the standards, I guess you could say. There will be a lot of changes, and specifics will come out as my athletes get here and as we talk together. But the changes, you're going to see a very fast-paced volleyball game. I think that's going to be the biggest change, I really do, for the fans. But I really want to involve ourselves in the community more and more every year. I think that's a big part of who we are. The community takes such good care of us as athletes, as a program, as an athletic department, and it's important for me to give back and to really honor what they've given.
What has Phil Shoemaker meant to you, both as a coach, a boss, mentor type? What has he meant to you?
I love him. I do. He pushed me further than I thought so for myself as an athlete. He really did. And I think he's definitely changed over the years, and it was really neat for me to work under him for 2 years because he has a wonderful volleyball mind. He sees things that I didn't see beforehand, and he's really showed me some things. And he's helped me become a better coach. He really cares about people, and I think it's important to note that relationships are a big part of who we are as a team and who we are as a community.
Mallory, I want to ask you about your interview with Gary, because Gary had to do interviews with the finalists over the phone, and he told me, and correct me if I'm wrong with this, Gary, that you actually called her from here into the office, or?
Right, we
Tell
did.
me about that, because that's kind of weird.
It was weird.
Yeah, well, we wanted to get the process done as quickly as possible, obviously. When you replace a coach at the end of the season, you don't want to leave too big a gap where people don't know what's going on, and recruits that have signed in November, who's my coach going to be and things. So we tried to move fairly quickly, actually. Had the holiday break coming upon us and things like that. We still had reference checks. So the process, as quick as you try to make it, it's still longer than you want it. But we decided to, as we identified our finalists, our top 3, to do phone interviews for the sake of time. But they all were done the same. Mallory was, I think you were in your office, either there or home. I think you're in your office. but it's a phone interview for everybody so that everyone is scored with the same scorecard. They were all asked the same questions, they were all graded with the same scale, and if one person has a face-to-face interview and has body language, you know, as an advantage, then it's not a level playing field. So they were all done the same, and Mallory was on the phone, and all we could hear was the spoken word, which is good, because you really have to evaluate and score and think about what's said, rather than any sort of nonverbal communication. So yeah, they were all done the same.
What was the day of that interview with her? Do you remember?
It was Tuesday.
It would have been December 18th then, if that was a Tuesday,
It was December 18th.
because I went to Hawaii the next day, and that was the 18th or 19th, so, yeah.
Have you decided on the coaching staff yet? Or?
I haven't yet, no. Yeah, we'll be, like I said, this is just this morning and kind of taking my big breaths and get this silly grin off my face. And then we'll go to work.
I was going to ask you about recruiting too. I mean, talk about recruiting in state and also recruiting, you know, locally. I mean, what is that something you really want to do? You really want to get a lot of local players coming here? Or?
Absolutely. You know, anybody that we can get that can contribute from Alaska is a big positive. We have a few on our team now, and they've made tremendous efforts in the success in our games this past season, actually. I really like the WUI states, the Western Undergraduate Exchange states. It helps us. I'm familiar with those states, with Washington, Oregon, California, Colorado area, especially because I coached in those areas and I have rapport from different club coaches and high school coaches and JUCO coaches. So that's really what I like. You know, really it's important to have the right fit. And so we do a lot of work on recruiting, and I like recruiting. I understand the positives up here, and one of the biggest things about recruiting up here is you get the female athletes to say no way or oh yeah. You know, you get a lot less maybes, which helps a lot.
How do you sell this program to a girl from, say, West Covina, California, who is thinking maybe going to Pomona, maybe
Sure.
trying out San Jose State? I mean, how do you sell this program to?
Well, I believe in it. I've lived it. And I understand academically, athletically, and community-wise what a wonderful experience it can be. And so I just share what I know, and I tell them the truth. And I think it's really important not to sell the university and the athletic department, but to tell them what it's about and let them make that decision so that we can have that retention. That's a really important part of me as a recruiter going forward as well. California is California. You know what you're going to get. But not very many people have been to Fairbanks, Alaska, and have seen how beautiful it is and met the community of Fairbanks, because the recruits that come up here and they meet our athletic department, the university, and our community, they go, I can't believe how wonderful it is up here. I never knew. And so once we get them up here, it's a huge positive.
When you came back 2 years ago, was this something that was in your back of your mind that you thought, you know, this is a goal I want to reach to lead this program?
Yeah, Phil and I talked about it. You know, we didn't know when it was going to be. Neither of us did. But timing is everything. And I had to be patient and learned as much as I possibly could. And it definitely has been a goal for me.
If you don't mind me asking, how old are you now?
I'm glad that you asked, because I'm still 29 for the next few days.
Next few days.
Yeah.
And I was talking to your husband, you got 3 boys.
I do.
Okay, what are their ages?
Canyon is 7, almost. Harper is 5, and Hudson is 5 months old.
Okay.
They make me stronger.
I'm good.
Congratulations, Mal.
Thank you, guys.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Bye.